Hello all, welcome back to the BioRocks channel. In this video today we are going to learn about the plant nutrition. That is, we're going to speak about the photosynthesis process, as we are all are aware that green plants are going to synthesize their own food materials by a process which is being called as photosynthesis. So today we are going to learn about the photosynthesis. Okay, and we all are aware like what is photo. The photo is going to regard to the sunlight. Okay, this is going to be the sunlight, and where this synthesis is going to be about the preparation or formation or preparation of new organic molecules. Okay, synthesis is something where you're generating or preparing, and what do we prepare in the photosynthesis is going to be the organic molecules. Okay, and that organic molecule is none other than your glucose, which is being produced. Okay, so by utilizing the sunlight is nothing but the energy from the sunlight. We are utilizing the energy from the sunlight in order to synthesize an organic molecule which is being called as glucose, and this is seen in what they call is green plants. We even see that the photosynthetic bacteria, and there are many other diatoms and algae. These all are going to be the ones which are photosynthetic, and we all know that the ones which prepare their own food materials, especially, they are going to be regarded as autotrophs. See, we'll be concentrating on the autotrophs, and we'll be seeing the examples in forthcoming videos, but in this video today we'll be only just learning about the photosynthetic equation, as well as to that of the, we'll be specifying and we'll be throwing light on this particular sunlight and its composition. Okay, so the photosynthesis, as you know, as I told you, that it is a preparation of the organic molecules like glucoses by using or utilizing the energy from the sunlight. Okay, generally when we speak about the equation for photosynthesis, we regard it as the 6CO2 reacting with the 12 water molecules. Okay, in presence of your sunlight, as well as we can even see that there is chlorophyll. Okay, the presence of chlorophyll pigment, as well as presence of some of the coenzymes. Okay, we require the presence of some coenzymes, and we require even the presence of a few of the enzymes, which results in the formation of a glucose molecule, which is C6H12O6. And in this procedure, we can even see that there is a byproduct produced called as oxygen, as well as there is water molecules produced. I'll make a separate video for the balancing of the photosynthetic equation, but just remember that this is going to be the one which we regard as a photosynthetic equation, where you can see that the reactants are the carbon dioxide gas as well as the water molecules. And for this, we require the energy from the sunlight. We require a pigment which is being called as a chlorophyll, and we require presence of coenzymes and enzymes. By this, we are going to synthesize our organic molecule, which is being called as glucose, and the byproducts produced are going to be the oxygen as well as the water. Okay, now coming on to the same equation, let us see this in the depth, what actually is happening. Okay, 6CO2 with the 12 water molecules with the energy from the sunlight. Okay, we require this. Okay, and it even requires the pigment chlorophyll. Okay, the main pigment, as well as we require the presence of the coenzymes and the enzymes, which is going to result in the formation of the glucose molecule along with a byproduct of oxygen as well as the water molecules. See children, what is actually happening is the water molecules here, the water molecules, actually the water molecule is going to get oxidized. So your water molecule is getting oxidized. Okay, so it's going to be oxidized. What is oxidized? As you all know that the we took a what you call is a antonym as sorry, we took an analogy as oil, which is nothing but the oxidation is loss of electrons or hydrogens, if you remember. So the hydrogen, the water is going to get oxidized is nothing but it is going to lose its hydrogen atoms. Okay, it is going to lose its hydrogen atoms. Okay, so it is going to get oxidized, and this is going to be losing hydrogen atoms here. So what happens is this hydrogen atoms which are lost by the water molecules will be picked up by a coenzyme which is being called as NADP. And now what happens is this coenzyme which is called as NADP is going to pick these hydrogens, two of the hydrogens, and it is going to get reduced here. It is going to reduce. And you all know that this particular coenzymes, the role of coenzymes is just what they do. These coenzymes are going to transfer, they're going to transfer the hydrogen atoms, or they're going to transfer the electrons from one of the compound, from one of the, from a molecule. And what they do is they are going to transfer it to the other. It is going to transfer to the other. And the other here, what is happening is the NADP is picking the hydrogen from the water molecule. As you know that water is losing the hydrogen atoms. Now what it does is this NADPH2, now what it does is it is going to transfer, this is going to transfer the hydrogen atoms to whom? To your carbon dioxide, due to which what is happening is your carbon dioxide is going to get reduced as it is going to receive the hydrogen atom. So it is going to get reduced and it is going to form a molecule which is being called as a glucose molecule. As you can see that there are 6 of the carbon atoms which are being present here, and we can see 12 hydrogen atoms. It is going to be the 12 hydrogens picked from this particular things, and you can see 6 of the oxygen. We already have 12 of them, so 6 of them are being used here to make up a glucose molecule. So just remember that water is getting oxidized and the carbon dioxide is getting reduced to a form called as glucose. It is just because of the donation of the hydrogen atoms from the water to that of the carbon dioxide by a coenzyme, a reduced coenzyme, which is being called as a NADP. And the full form for the NADP is going to be called as nicotinamide. It is going to be nicotinamide adenine, adenine dinucleotide, dinucleotide phosphate, phosphate. So this is going to be your nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate is going to be the abbreviation for the NADP, which is a coenzyme which is transferring the hydrogens from water to the carbon dioxide. And now we can see the formation of this organic molecule. Okay, it's a carbon compound which has been we can regard as a organic molecule synthesized during the photosynthesis process. Okay, children, have you understood? And next, what we can see here is we are utilizing the, excuse me, utilizing the carbon dioxide in water. But you see that the oxygen in the glucose molecule has been come from where? From the carbon dioxide. So what about the water molecule? Because we are only taking up what? Taking up the hydrogens from the water, right? So oxygen is left. So what is happening is the oxygen which is going to be a byproduct, the byproduct which is being produced during the photosynthesis, this particular oxygen what I'm talking about, this byproduct which is produced during the photosynthesis is donated by whom? It's being donated by, it's donated by the water molecule, donated by water molecule. During which process? During oxidation process, during oxidation process. So remember children, we'll see another analogy for the reduction is nothing but a rig. Rig is nothing but reduction is gaining of electrons. Okay, and there is another thing like we can even have a Leo, that is your lion is going to give you a grrr sound, is nothing but Leo grrr. Loss of electron is oxidation, gaining of electron is called as a reduction process. This is going to be reduction process here. So Leo grrr is nothing but loss of electron is oxidation and gain of electron is called as reduction process. I hope you understood the photosynthesis equation where the carbon dioxide is reduced into an organic molecule by accepting the hydrogens from the reduced electron acceptor. And where did this reduced electron acceptor get the hydrogens? It is from the water molecules when they have got oxidized, and the oxygen is left over, which is going to be an end product, there is a byproduct during the what you call is this particular reduction oxidation process of the water molecules. Then we can even see that there is a pigment which plays a major role in this, which is going to be the chlorophyll molecule. We'll see in the further future coming videos. And we have even seen the work of this particular coenzyme now, that is going to be NADP. We'll even see few of the enzymes during our light reactions and dark reactions, okay? But just remember that what about the sunlight now? So what I'll do is I'll just focus on the sunlight now. Okay, so we'll be focusing on sunlight, and this sunlight is going to be the one which is providing energy for the photosynthesis equation to be happen. Okay, so remember that your sunlight is going to be, the first thing is going to be a form of electromagnetic radiation, right? It's a form of electromagnetic radiation. Electromagnetic radiation. So what is this electromagnetic radiation? Is nothing but actually these radiations travel in form of waves. Okay, in form of waves. So your sunlight is going to be a electromagnetic combination, or it is going to be the radiation which has a presence of different waves. Actually, we'll be learning about that. So electromagnetic, because why do we call it as electromagnetic? Because it has the properties of both the electricity as well as a magnetism. Electricity as well as magnetism. So we are going to consider our sunlight as what we call as electromagnetic radiation, we are going to call it as. So this is very important for you to understand this. We are calling this as electromagnetic radiation, since it is going to have the properties of electricity and magnetism. And just remember, children, they are traveling in form of waves. So when we speak about the waves, then what we need to do is we need to speak about some terminologies like what is amplitude, and you should know what is going to be the frequency, and we have to even know what is going to be a wavelength. Okay, I'll introduce you with these terms too, but just before that, remember that these electromagnetic waves or these radiations are going to travel with the speed of light. Okay, so they are traveling with speed of light, same as a speed of light. Okay, speed of light. So children, let me know what is the speed of light. It's going to be 186,000 miles per second. This is going to be the speed of light, and your electromagnetic waves or the radiations are traveling at the same speed. Okay, and remember, what is an amplitude is nothing but when we consider any particular wave, we see that there is going to be a crest and we are going to have a the trough. Okay, so the elevations and the depressions, the crest. Okay, you can see that the wavelength is nothing but the distance between the two crests. It being this is a crest. Okay, this is going to be the crest, and this is going to be a trough. Okay, so the distance between the two crests is going to be called as what we are going to call it as your wavelength, which is being measured in lambdas, the unit. And next, what we see is frequency is nothing but the number of waves per a second is being called as what? As a frequency. So this is going to speak about the number of your waves per second is being called as your frequency. Then what is going to be amplitude? Amplitude is nothing but when we draw a wave here, the height of this particular, what you call is wave here, the length of this particular height here is going to be considered as your amplitude. So we are going to consider these all things. So this is going to be the wavelength, and this is going to be speaking about the frequency, and this speaks about the amplitude. So just remember that the sunlight is going to be an electromagnetic radiation, and they are going to have different waves of different wavelengths and frequencies, and these are going to travel at this same speed that of your sunlight. Okay, now coming on to the electromagnetic spectrum here, or the electromagnetic radiation, that is your sunlight. We'll be watching at this particular spectra. If you're going to check out this, see what happens is when you're going to see, remember that the highest frequency wave, the higher frequency wave is nothing but the higher energy. Okay, and secondly, if you're going to have a high wavelength, high wavelength is nothing but the lower energy. It's going to be lower energy. So first remember, when you speak about the electromagnetic spectra, we can see that it is going to comprise of, the first thing that we are going to consider is going to be the gamma rays, which can otherwise be called as your cosmic rays. Okay, these X-rays, that is a gamma rays, are going to be the ones which are going to be at the end of a high frequency. They are going to have the highest frequency, which means that it is going to have a higher energy. From where are these gamma rays and cosmic rays emitted out is nothing but from the stars, or what we call as cosmos. Okay, cosmos is nothing but the stars, as well as they are seen as energies that are being thrown from the radioactive elements. Okay, in the radiations, the radioactive elements. So they are being emitted as energy by the radioactive elements as well as stars, these gamma rays and cosmic rays. Since they have a very high frequency and high energy, children, just remember that these are going to actually penetrate. They are going to penetrate through your body completely. They are going to penetrate through the body, not even leaving your bones and teeth. So it is going to completely even penetrate through your bones as well as your teeth, which are the hardest things. And what it does is it is going to actually shatter. It is going to shatter is nothing but it is going to break up the biomolecules present in your cells. Is nothing but the proteins. The protein structure is damaged, your DNA molecules and all the biomolecules are being shattered, which is going to lead to what, it's something like it is going to fry up these biomolecules. So this is going to lead to the death. Okay, so this is one of the important things that you need to understand, that gamma rays. So why are we talking about sunlight? Because we know that photosynthesis is running just because of the what is called running because of the energy that is being utilized from the sunlight. So we can see that these are the gamma rays, and the next to the gamma rays, see, first we had is the gamma rays, next we are going to have is going to be the X-rays. See, when you're going to talk about the X-rays, what happens is these are also going to penetrate through your body. They are also going to penetrate through the body, but they can't penetrate through your, they cannot penetrate through your bones as well as teeth. Okay, they can't. So this will be used in the medical science for filming up the X-ray films to check out the fractures and holes in the teeth. Okay, we are utilizing it. And remember that your X-rays are going to be seated next to the gamma rays. Okay, where are we getting the X-rays again from? We know that sun is going to give all these radiation, the different waves, compositions of the electromagnetic spectra, along with even stars are the ones. These two are going to actually what you call is generate all these rays in the electromagnetic spectrum actually. So we have these X-rays, and remember, if you have a longer exposure to these X-rays, this is going to lead to what? It is going to lead to cancer. Okay, so these are also dreadful because of their higher energy frequencies. Next, what we are going to have is we are going to have the ultraviolet rays. These ultraviolet rays are going to have lower frequencies when compared to that of the gamma as well as the X-rays. These can only penetrate through your skin. These can only penetrate through your skin, okay, that to the upper layers of the skin. So what happens is if you are going to get exposed to the ultraviolet rays, this is going to actually lead to sunburn, okay, sunburn or skin burns. But if it is going to be a longer exposure to these ultraviolet rays, this is going to lead again to the skin cancer. This is going to lead to the skin cancer. So what you can see is in the electromagnetic spectrum, the first thing towards a higher frequency is going to be, the first thing is going to be the gamma rays. Next we have seen about the X-rays. Okay, and the next thing is going to be your ultraviolet rays, and the next range is going to be the visible range. Okay, the visible range, which is actually responsible for our vision. Okay, visible range, this is going to be from 350 to that of your 780 nanometers. Okay, different books are going to refer with the different, but usually it is going to be 350 to 780 nanometers. of wavelength they possess. And you can see that the vitriol colors that you are able to is going to be from the visible range. Remember children, visible range does not at all penetrate through your body. So the penetration process here is not at all seen. But what they are going to do is they are going to actually excite the electrons. They are going to excite the electrons in few of the biomolecules, That is what we are going to learn in our photosynthesis, that when the chlorophyll molecule, that is when your leaves are going to trap the sunlight, your what you call is the electrons have been excited in the pigments, that is your especially your chlorophyll pigment. The electrons go from a lower energy level to the higher energy level. They get excited. So that excitement is just because of this particular visible range, which is a part of this electromagnetic spectrum, which comes from your sunlight. Okay. The next thing that we can see here is going to be your infrared rays. So the infrared rays that you're going to see, and the next one is going to be the microwaves, which we can even call it as a radar waves. Okay, these two waves we can consider as similar things because they do not actually penetrate in to damage your biomolecules. They do not actually penetrate, and they do not damage the biomolecules. But one thing that they are going to do is they are going to vibrate the water molecules. Vibrate the water molecules. Vibrate the water molecules is nothing but this vibration is nothing but what? It is going to heat up the water molecules. It is going to warm up the water molecules. Okay, the infrared rays and microwaves. So we are utilizing this in the cooking, right? In the microwave oven. So these are going to actually heat up the body. It's going to warm up the body. And the next thing that we are going to have is a TV waves. What we are going to have, where we have a ultra high frequency waves, and we have a very high frequency waves we are going to have. These are the two different TV waves that we can see. And the lastly we are going to have is going to be the radio waves. And you all know that the radio waves are of AM and FM, right? These are also, see, as you're coming through the electromagnetic spectra, they are going to have the lowest frequency. They have the highest frequency, right? As you're coming across through this electromagnetic spectra, what happens? The frequency is just going on decreasing. So the penetration, there is no penetration. So in the TV waves, the radio waves, there is no penetration. What is AM is nothing but it's being called as AM stands for the amplitude frequency. We are going to call modulation. Okay, this is being called as amplitude modulation, which is going to be when I speak, actually I'm producing sound, which is a form of an energy, right? So what happens is sometimes my pitch goes high and low. So accordingly with the changes and the variations in the pitch, what happens is the waves which are created are going to have different amplitudes. Okay, see, what is an amplitude? Sorry, is nothing but the length of this particular thing. The wave is varying, right? So it's going to be, if I'm making a high pitch, it's going to be going up, having a higher amplitudes, and the lower pitch is going to be somewhere around like this, which is going to be a lower amplitude. The next one we have is the frequency modulation. We have this frequency modulation. So frequency modulation is going to be something where the high and the low pitches are going to be recording. This is going to be a low pitch and a high pitch, where you can see the number of cycles per second are going to vary. So if you're going to what you call is consider in form of frequency, it's going to be the FM. And if it's going to be regarding the amplitude, we are going to call it as a amplitude modulations, what we are going to call. So this is going to be the electromagnetic spectra. So for the photosynthesis, we are not considering regarding these high frequency nor the low frequency, but we will be considering the visible range. So this has made it important for me to actually introduce you these electromagnetic radiations to you all children, because this is the one which is going to actually give you a pure idea regarding for what reason are we learning this particular what we call as the what we call is this sort of electromagnetic spectra. Okay, now coming on to what I'll do is I'll try to share this particular slides for you, the electromagnetic slide, which is going to give you more idea regarding this particular thing about the waves in the compositions, how is the frequency. Okay, let me share this for you. Give me a moment. Yeah, let me. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So this is the one where you can see that this is the electromagnetic spectra that we are seeing. You can see that the highest frequency is going to be the shortest wavelength. Okay, because as there is number of waves per second are increasing, the distance between them is decreasing, so they have a shorter wavelength. Okay, and you can see that the amplitude is also the high amplitude is higher, and you can even see that the highest frequency are of the gamma rays, which penetrates and damages your biomolecules very badly. Next comes is the x-rays, which only penetrate through your body cells and mass but not the bones and the teeth. Later comes the ultraviolet rays, which damage and penetrate through your skin. And we have is the normal visible range, where you can see that it's going to be from the 380 350 to that of your 720 750 nanometers. It is going to vary, and this is actually the visible light which is going to excite the electrons, which is the actual trigger point to run your photosynthesis process, because this is going to excite the electrons in your pigment, that is going to be the chlorophyll pigment, from a lower energy level to a higher energy level. And that brings up all the changes that has to happen in the photosynthesis process. Not only we require the carbon dioxide, the water, but sunlight, which is required because of the visible range, which is going to excite these electrons. Later we have is this infrared rays, the microwaves, which are going to actually not penetrate, but these are being used in creating the vibrations, which is nothing but a form of a heat, or what we call is warming up that particular water molecules. Okay, and next we see is TV waves, which comes in between the microwaves and the radio waves. And at last, we have the radio waves. So remember that the highest frequency is having a highest energy, and the lowest frequency is going to have the lowest energy. Okay, I hope you all have understood, children. So today in this video, we have learned about the photosynthetic equation, and we have seen the set of reduction in the oxidation reactions that are happening, and you have to recognize who gets oxidized and who gets reduced, and what is the organic molecule produced and what are the byproducts produced, from where is the oxygen evolved, not from the carbon dioxide but from the water molecule. Further, in these future coming up videos, we'll be learning about the experiments which have proved all these things. Okay, we'll be learning about all those things. So I hope you all have understood the video. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and try to subscribe and share my channel to the others. Okay, thank you all. Thanks a lot.